All right, and welcome back to episode 56 of the Alec Frengos show. This is a sports podcast centered around NBA and NFL. And today I'm joined by Joey Price, Wyatt Thomas of College Sports Media and the Hockey News, and Carter Arsenault, maybe soon to be. Today we're going to predict the NFC East, and we're going to also talk about a couple training camp things. We're also going to predict our Coach of the Year and many more. So we'll start with you here, Joey. What's the outlook here on the NFC East before we predict the division?
Well, obviously it's one of the best divisions in the NFL.
Sure.
You have three teams who I think everyone can say can make the playoffs. Now, we obviously know one team won't go far in the playoffs, but they definitely will be good in the regular season, I think. But even the Giants, I'm not going to spoil too much, but I think they're going to be a decent team, a respectable team, no matter who they're playing each week.
Yeah, I think he's pretty much right. One of the better divisions in the sport for sure. You have obviously the defending Super Bowl champions, and then the Cinderella story of last year, everyone's kind of curious to see how they look going into year two, and then the Cowboys, who are usually a very good regular season team and win 10, 11, 12 games-ish if they're healthy. So it's going to be an interesting fight to see who wins this division. Hasn't this division not had a repeat winner for 20 years or something? So we'll see if that changes or that trend continues.
That's a true stat. So we'll see what happens this year. But I think obviously because you could have said the year before when Dallas won the division, Philly, when they got Barkley, were the division favorites. But I think that Philly, after winning the Super Bowl, they're definitely the favorites to repeat as the division. But there's a lot of competition in this division. You got the Washington Commanders, who broke out with superstar QB Jane Daniels. You've got the Giants with that star-studded defensive line. You've got a good running back duo, what I think, in Tyrone Tracy Jr. and Cam Scatteraboo. You've got a quarterback that will give you a good floor but not a high ceiling in Russell Wilson. And then you've got Malik Neighbors, who could potentially be knocking on the door of a top 5 receiver this year if he keeps doing what he does. So the Giants, like you said, Joey, they won't be bad. I won't spoil too much, but yeah, the Giants. And then, I forgot the Cowboys, who obviously were hurt last year with their superstar quarterback, Dak Prescott, injured. You add George Pickens, which I think is going to be a very, very fun duo to watch. I just want to see how that run game shakes out, because you got to be able to run the ball in order to open up these guys to pass the ball. So if Javonte Williams and Jaden Blue can get going for the Cowboys, I think that will be one of the most exciting offenses for sure in the league to watch, no doubt about it. And Micah Parsons, if he can get back on track, if he can get that contract before the season, he'll be flying, obviously a Defensive Player of the Year candidate. And I'm sorry, who would they draft on the D-line, Joey, if you can refresh me? Ezukari out of Boston College.
Oh, yeah, Donovan. Cool.
I think that's a good pick. It should complement Parsons well, but we'll get into this episode here. I've got actually a quick fantasy question here we'll start with. I got a couple things I want to go through here. Start, bench, cut, fantasy wide receiver edition. I'll start with you, Wyatt. Stephon Diggs, Cooper Kupp, Chris Olave.
Okay.
So we got Olave on Saints, Kupp newly in Seattle, and Diggs newly in New England. Factor in who their QBs are, the type of offenses, the type of volume. Because I brought this up because I was doing a mock the other day, and I had this pick, and it was 1, 2, 3 right here in the rankings, and I'm like, when there's a bunch of guys in the same position, you really have no idea who to pick. So I wrote this down. I'm like, let's see what other people are thinking.
Okay. I'm going to bench Cooper Kupp for the specific reason... cut Cooper Kupp.
Cut Cooper Kupp, okay.
For he has not played more than 12 games since 2021.
Interesting stat.
Chris Olave
is probably the same.
Yes, but no longer has Derek Carr throwing him into moats full of alligators where he gets killed.
He has a worse quarterback, though.
Yes, but that quarterback I don't think will throw suicide balls.
And I'm sure the Kellen Moore will be able to get him open.
Yes, Derek Carr had, I don't know what it was, I've never seen a quarterback lead his receiver into more head-first dives into an oncoming safety that you think is going to put them into a loony bin for the rest of their life. So I will bench Chris Olave, and I will start Stephon Diggs. I don't like him either, but I trust him more to be healthy than the other two.
Coming off an ACL, that says a lot.
Yeah, but the other two are just an ACL is kind of a freak injury, and if it reoccurs, it reoccurs. But I think the other two are much more unpredictable in terms of health.
Before we go, Joey, I don't think it's outlandish to put anyone at any certain spot because I think they're all so neck and neck.
Yeah.
I think the highest ceiling though by far is Cooper Kupp if he gets his Cooper Kupp volume. We don't know how washed he could or couldn't be, but he's one of those guys that's been at like the top of fantasy, like elite. So has Diggs, but
do you think
Cooper
that
Kupp,
volume's still there with Nakua now in that picture? Do you think there's a world where he still gets the kind of volume we've seen from
Who are we
Cooper
talking about?
Kupp.
On the Seahawks?
Oh, wow. Full blank. Okay, never mind then.
Does that change anything?
No, because the health thing is still there.
Okay. You.
Tell us the offseason.
I am cutting Cooper Kupp just
Okay.
based off what Wyatt said. I also think he's going to regress a little bit, and I also think the Seahawks offense is going to be a lot more focused on the run this year.
Yeah.
Plus, I think JSN is going to be
He's the wide receiver one. We're all clear of that. That's what kind of separates it because Kupp's a wide receiver too.
Yeah, actually,
the others are wide receiver.
Now you mentioned
ones.
that he's the only one in the list who's not the clear-cut wide receiver one on their team.
And honestly, what's scary about Kupp is that he's the same play style as JSN.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
So that kind of scares me.
I don't know who's gonna
if
play
Kupp's going to be
outside
split
there.
out wide more, I honestly don't like him at all in fantasy.
Me too.
Go ahead.
And then I'm benching Diggs. I don't really trust the Patriots offense too much. I'm all in on their defense, but I like Drake May.
Especially the pass game.
A Patriots offense, I just can never be
fully
bought in. Plus the ACL factors in. I also think the rookie receivers on the Patriots can be something for
rookie
Drake May this year.
as in Polk, Kyle Williams?
Like one of them I feel like are going to step up
I hope,
this year.
or else we piss that Polk pick away.
Yeah, that was probably a bad pick. And then I'm starting Chris Olave. I think he is the best receiver out of them right now.
You trust the quarterback situation no matter what?
I think Shuck's going to be a fine QB.
I honestly think if Olave's healthy, he probably will have the best season.
And also, he was obviously very injured last year, but that was his third year. The first 2 years, he played 15 and 16 games. So the injury issue wasn't really a thing until this season. Mm-hmm. And he didn't exactly have elite quarterbacks before that anyways.
Correct.
And he still put up 1,000 yards and 1,100 yards, so he can clearly put up numbers even without a solid quarterback.
Yeah. So you're gonna cut Kupp, bench Diggs, start Olave.
Yeah.
So we all actually have 3 different combinations. I'm gonna cut Olave. I'm gonna bench Kupp, and I'm gonna start Diggs, just off the fact. Like, listen, it's very easy to get a concussion in the NFL. Chris Olave is a concussion away from potentially retiring. Let's make sure that's very clear. As good as he is, if he gets one more very bad concussion, he could be put away for a very long time.
They don't retire players just because of concussions, or Tua would be out the league.
I know, but Chris Olave, he's had a couple nicks too, I'm pretty sure, with his shoulder, I believe, or something unconcussion related, along with having a bunch of concussions. And I'm not fully sold on the Saints quarterback room, as we all know. So I'm going to cut Kupp.
Olave.
Cut Olave, pardon me. I'm going to bench Kupp just based off of, I'm sure in Seattle they'll find a way. Todd Monken, he'll find a way to scheme him up because he's a very good talent with JSN. And I think it's going to be similar to the Vikings. I think Darnold's going to be dishing it out in the regular season. JSN, Olave, I expect that offense to put up a decent amount of points, honestly. Maybe the wins might not show for it, but Geno Smith, he got his guy the ball a lot. So I'm going to bench him just in that Seattle system, and I'm going to start Diggs just because of the fact that he's the sole wide receiver one to me on the Patriots. He looks good coming off that ACL. Drake May is going to take a leap. I think that he's the target for Drake May, where when it's a third down, he's going to go to Stephon Diggs. He's going to try him because he's looking good off that ACL, whether you want to take the training camp videos as you want it. But I'm going to start him just because I think he's going to have the most volume. May's going to trust him in those situations. And I think Diggs could be a sneaky touchdown machine for the Patriots this year, especially in the red zone. If he's still got that route tree, I expect him to have 7 to maybe 10 touchdowns this year, depending on how good that Patriots offense is. But yeah, I'm going to cut Olave, bench Kupp, start Diggs. But like I said, you can go any way with this, which we all went different ways. So that was just very interesting what I saw on the board doing a mock, seeing those 3 guys. They're kind of all in the same range. I like them as a in our league a flex 1, maybe a wide receiver 2 on any given week. But yeah, that's what I like as those guys. Obviously, their ceilings could be a very good wide receiver 2 in our league. 14
I
man
looked it up.
PPR.
It surprised me that Cooper Kupp's older than Diggs. It feels like Diggs has been around much longer than Kupp in terms of the
Cup
league.
just exploded.
Yeah, he did kind of come out of
He
nowhere.
broke out late. Definitely broke out late. One more fantasy question we'll go to here. I'll start with you, Joey.
Yeah.
How do you value Travis Hunter as a fantasy player, playing 2 ways? Obviously, he's the wide receiver 2 in that offense, but his snap volume, will he be fatigued while playing defense as well if he does end up playing both ways in the game? How do you value somebody, Travis Hunter? Is he a bench player? Is he a good flex start in a lot of leagues? Let's even say let's base it off a 12-man league, which most people play.
Yeah.
12-man PPR. How do you value Travis Hunter?
I think he's definitely a bench player, considering in training camp he took more snaps with the defense than on the offense in like the 11v11 like team period.
Yeah.
So that obviously says something. They value him more on the defensive side of the ball.
And interceptions are 2 points. Let's count into factor too that he can get. Pick 6 is 8 points.
Those count for offense
Yes.
too? Mm-hmm. Oh, well, I mean, he's only going to have 1 or 2 of those a year.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it won't
Unless
matter
he has a
too
Deron
much.
Bland year, that's not going to affect a lot.
Yeah. But
If he has a Deron Bland year where he's getting pick 6s and he's featured in the offense, this guy's a wide receiver 2, maybe a low end 1 in fantasy. If he's getting pick
talking
6s.
3 years from now, but not in his rookie year, going into his first NFL season playing on both sides of the ball, it's going to be harder than it is in college. I think he can do it, but it's going to be
What do you
tough
expect
on
him as an average stat line, let's say this year, offensively?
50, 60 yards a game.
How many receptions? 4 or 5?
4 for 60 a game.
That's 11 points.
Yeah.
And if he gets a touchdown. So that's very good. But when you see Travis Hunter on the board, like are you wanting to draft like a Jordan Addison over him, a Worthy over him?
Sure.
For sure.
Any wide receiver 2 in a better offense, I'd rather have them than Travis Hunter for sure.
Yeah, I honestly, I'm even lower. I think he's going to be very, very situational. And should this team make the playoffs potentially, I think you see him featured way more. But I've always believed he is an elite corner and a good receiver. And he's much more valuable as corner because I think he has the potential to be a number 1 corner. And even if he is in the offense, he's still the wide receiver too. Brian Thomas Jr. is going to be better than him and going to get much more looks and soak up way more of those targets. So I think he's going to be the type of guy, could have the odd touchdown, but I think he's going to be like 2-3 catches, like 30 yards a game in the regular season. And if we get into the playoffs, he'll be featured a lot more. And he'll get, I think he might get, it wouldn't shock me if he gets more points defensively than he does offensively this year.
Really?
If he gets a pick, I really think they're not going to use him a lot on offense. I think it's getting a little overblown. I think it's too much of a risk for not enough reward at this point.
Yeah. I have a couple things. Me personally, unless he super free falls in our league, which I don't think he will. I think somebody's going to be able to take a chance on him. But there's 2 things I want to point out. One, college is a whole different animal, playing 2 ways than the NFL. We all know that. He's playing against grown men now, and can he play both sides defensively and offensively at a high level while maintaining health too? Because we all know Travis Hunter, he is a smaller frame compared to most people, right? He's got more of the corner build. But if he's featured in the offense, he's not really a guy where you want to go out and you gotta get him right away. So I kind of value him not a lot just based off of the volume he'll have, and he could easily get banged up a couple games if he's playing both sides a lot of snaps, right?
Yeah.
That's very tolling on your body. So I don't value him a lot. I value him as a mid-end flex. I say mid-end flex are the best, and maybe if the Jaguars see something, they might fully commit him to defense or offense. And if he gets banged up and they might fully commit him to defense, everyone's screwed. You might as well just drop him, right?
Yeah, basically.
So yeah, I'm not very high in Travis Hunter on fantasy value wise, but he obviously is a generational prospect, so it's kind of weird to value him in that sort of way.
Side note, real fun, week 2, Jamar Chase versus Travis Hunter.
I don't like that matchup for Travis Hunter.
I don't
at
either,
all.
but I'm very excited to watch it and see how it looks.
If he lines up against him, I think Chase will destroy him.
I doubt he'll follow Chase, but we'll definitely get to see that matchup at some point.
For sure. And Travis Hunter, obviously he's got the one-of-one type of athleticism, but when you get matched up on somebody like Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb, A.J. Brown, I can go on, Tyreek Hill, it's going to be very hard to take offensive snaps and then go up against the best receiver in the NFL, and not only if he follows him, just take snaps in general, and he's going to have to go if he's playing defense against T. Higgins too, right? So
Yeah.
I don't like that a lot when he's in those big type of games, but if he is a generational player and big time prospect, he'll be able to keep up. So we'll see I want to see where his fatigue level gets when it comes fourth quarter, and if it's a close game, are they going to run him on both sides, or is he going to be fatigued out where you won't be able to use him?
Yeah, I'm looking at the Chase is really the only truly elite matchup I think he'll have throughout the year. There's no one that
He's got Nico Collins twice a year.
He's got Garrett Wilson, but he doesn't play CD. He doesn't play Jefferson. He doesn't play Tyreek, I believe.
Titans, then who else? Colts, they don't really...
Pittman.
Yeah, it doesn't really stand out to me.
They got the Rams...
Puka.
Yeah, they have
Puka and Devontae will be...
They have the Seahawks as well, so Cup, but the Chase is the only, I'd say, top 5 receiver he'll be matched up against the whole season.
But we can move now to Coach of the Year. Coach of the Year. Wyatt, who do you like as your Coach of the Year this year?
It's kind of the guy who's been, swimming around this award the last couple of years. I feel just one year he's going to win it because the team is simply too talented and feels like they're going to have a good record again. I'm picking Dan Campbell.
Ooh.
Because I think for pretty much everyone throughout most of last season...
Has he won one?
Nope, he has not yet.
He hasn't?
And they won 15 games, or 4... Yeah, 15.
Well, O'Connell won it last year. Stefanski won it the year
they
before.
won 14 games, and everyone was expecting them to be way under 500. So,
but I think at some point with the roster Campbell has, they're just going to win enough games, and he'll end up getting it.
What do you have the Lions going? Because you weren't on the NFC North episode.
I haven't filled out their record.
I'm assuming winning the division.
Yeah, I'd have them probably similar to last year. They probably, behind the Eagles, have the best roster in the NFL through and through when healthy. So I'd say, without looking at their schedule, 13, 14 wins.
Okay.
I have Mike Vrabel winning this award. I think the Patriots, they're a good team. They're not a great team. Their schedule definitely is weak, which we'll get into later. But I think this is just a team that kind of people think look bad. Mm-hmm. But I think they may sneak into the playoffs. They definitely have a chance to in that division. And this award basically is what teams expected to be bad and wins a lot of games more than they're supposed to.
Yeah. Joey, I have the same answer. I have Mike Vrabel, obviously, as a Patriots fan. I think there's a lot of things to take into account there. Coach of the Year usually goes to a team that people aren't projecting to be good, or first-year coaches that over-succeed. Example, D'Amico Ryans, Kevin Stefanski, et cetera. The list can go on. I think I think Mike Vrabel could be no doubt Coach of the Year if the Patriots end up being a wild card team. Like you said, the weak schedule, it plays into big factor. They've got a great defense. And if Vrabel's enabled to do what he did with the Tennessee Titans, kind of like make a not so good roster into look like a great football team, I think this team can sneak into the playoffs with the culture that he has. AFC's obviously a gauntlet, but I think the Patriots can be prepared with a Drake May jump, etc., which we will get into later, obviously. But first-year coach, a year off coaching somehow, nobody jumped on him right away. Yeah. He's probably since 2020, he's probably a top 5 coach that's been around in the league. He's made nothing into something with those Titans teams, so I'm going to go Mike Vrabel. I think they got a great team. Defense is good. Just how much can that offense produce, especially in games? Buffalo twice a year, Miami twice a year. If you can win some of those division games and sneak in there, it'll be a good pick, I think. I think there's not too much to talk about because everybody knows what Mike Vrabel can do when he comes in and changes the culture. So, that's my pick. Do we have any more names that we want to throw out there? What other first-year head coaches? Pete Carroll, maybe, if the Raiders over-succeed.
If the Commanders are good again, I could see Dan Quinn.
If they win the division, it's definitely in the conversation.
Well, the first...
Liam Cohen with the Jags, maybe?
Yeah, first 4 names in the betting odds are all first-year head coaches. So
Vrabel.
If the Falcons break out, I could see Raheem Morris getting some looks too.
Okay. Who do we have, Joey?
Ben Johnson's first,
Ben Johnson.
then
that's another
Vrabel,
good one. Ben Johnson.
then
can definitely
Liam
be it.
Cohen, and then Kellen Moore.
Kellen Moore.
Which I don't know why he's that high.
Wow, that maybe just because he's a first-year coach and
Like I feel like they'd have to win 7-8 games.
Yeah.
For him
even
to
if they
even
did
get
that, I
looks.
still don't think
Even
he'd
if they
get
did that,
coach
there's
of
going to
the
be a
year.
team that makes the playoffs.
Like,
that's
that,
not supposed to.
Like
That's not
I think
supposed to.
I think in order to be considered for coach of the year, you'd have to at least make the playoff. Like if the Saints make the playoffs, that's the only
That's-
way I could see him getting that award, and that is
Yeah.
if I
not
was
happening.
if I was betting sites, I'd be scared of having someone super low like Brian Callahan of the Titans. If Cam Ward can do something that Jane Daniels did and somehow win the division there, he will automatically win it because everyone's
Yeah.
going to value the Titans like what they had the Commanders last year.
Yeah.
If he sneaks into the playoffs, he's an easy coach of the year. And Cam Ward, if they win the playoff, if they get into the playoffs and win the division somehow, he's obvious offensive rookie of the year, I'm sure,
Oh,
if
for
that
sure.
were to happen.
little more higher profile, but I think if they have another regular season like they had last year, maybe I think they'd probably improve a bit. I think Jim Harbaugh could get some looks too with the Chargers.
He's always in the mix, but he
Yeah.
never wins just because there's these teams that come out of the blue, right? It's always
Yeah.
it's always the team that comes out of Timbuktu that they like to give it to, which I think is really cool because it is very deserving for a
if
team.
they somehow knock the Chiefs off the top of that division, then I think he could win it, but that seems highly unlikely.
top of the conference.
The
Division.
division. The
Who?
Chargers.
Harbaugh.
beat the
Oh, you said
Chiefs.
Jim. I thought you were talking about John Harbaugh. Sorry.
No.
Yeah, Jim
Chargers.
Harbaugh. Yeah, that's a definitely good.
Although either Harbaugh could easily win that award because the Ravens.
Yeah,
are
Jim
probably
Harbaugh.
pretty
Yeah, that's another good look. Maybe Sean Payton too.
Yeah.
He's obviously somebody thrown into that conversation. If Bo Nix gets better,
Yeah.
they're a playoff team. He was there last year, I'm pretty sure, right? He was in the final
He'd be
three.
in the
Sean
running,
Payton.
Yeah, he was close. Yeah.
It was Kevin O'Connell, Dan Campbell, and Sean Payton as the final three, I
Yeah.
believe, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. That's good, and we might as well just get right into the
Yeah.
division here and talk, and we'll go through the schedule. So, Wyatt, why don't you lead us off at number 4 here? Why don't you?
Number 4, pretty easy number 4 pick. I have the New York Giants at 2-15.
Wow.
And if you look at their schedule, it is not a fun schedule for them. So I think that record. Do I think this is a bad team? Yes. I don't know if they're necessarily 2-15 bad, but with the schedule they have, I do not see a lot of winnable games. And even the winnable games, I think they could also lose. Like the games on their schedule that I think they should go into thinking they have a legit chance to win would be in New Orleans,
Mm-hmm.
maybe in Chicago, in New England,
They got the Raiders in there.
yeah,
right?
and in Vegas. But I also could. It wouldn't shock me if they lost any of those games
for
as
sure.
well.
It could go any way. So 2-15. What do you have in the division?
0-6.
Wow.
I mean, they always get spanked by the Cowboys. That happens every time. You gotta expect the Eagles are not gonna lose to the Giants.
What's the division game they have week 18?
At home against the Cowboys?
So right there, like if the Cowboys are clinched wild card and can't move anywhere,
Yeah,
They're
that
not
seems-
playing anyone.
That seems unlikely though, because usually wild cards are movable, and like I don't know, there's a chance they might have a chance to upset whoever's in the division
sure.
lead or be holding on.
definitely a lot of scenarios, but 2-15 for the Giants and not one division win. I'll follow that up. Number 4 for me in the NFC East, I got the New York Giants. 5-12, 3-3 in the division. I just think that the Russell Wilson ad, he just gives you such a safe floor where you're gonna obviously win some games just because that's what he does. Even though he is pretty washed, he's got the veteran flair to him. He's got Malik Neighbors. He's got Wan'Dale Robinson. He's got Theo Johnson, I believe, is their tight end one.
Yeah.
And they've got a good 1-2 punch out of the backfield with Tyrone Tracy and Cam Scadaboo. I think they're going to be able to run the ball. Brian Dable's a really good coach. I think he's way above average. And the defense, there's a lot to talk about. The secondary obviously is very weak, but the D-line, once again, we've been saying all summer long, if you're able to get pressure, the secondary almost voids when it comes to creating chaos in the backfield. So I got the Giants at 5-12, nowhere near a playoff team, but they could win a couple more games. It's like I wouldn't be surprised if they finish 7-10, 8-9, just because
Really?
how competitive they'll be able to be with a bunch of veterans, and Abdul Carter will be a beast. And Malik Neighbors with another step, but 5-12 for the Giants, 3-3 into the division. I think they're going to squeak out some sneaky upsets just based off of the veterans they've surrounded around their young players.
Well, if they're going to win 7 games, they're going to have to pull some crazy upsets with the schedule they have.
Yeah, I just think it's definitely possible just based off of the roster they have constructed. They obviously upgraded at quarterback, as we all know. And yeah, but nothing crazy from the Giants. But yeah, they upgraded. 100% they upgraded.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that.
Let's see what Russ looks like.
Go ahead.
Number 4, I have the Giants at 4-13.
Okay.
Honestly, I think they're a very respectable team.
They are.
With Wilson
Which
at
is
quarterback.
weird having this amount of wins.
I really like the Wilson to Neighbors connection because I think Neighbors is going to get a lot of deep balls. That's what Wilson's best at doing. The one thing I'm worried about is Russell Wilson behind this atrocious offensive line.
Scary.
Because he gets sacked one of the most in the league.
You would know.
Yeah, it's not fun watching him play quarterback and running into defensive linemen. But then this defense, like, it's going to keep them in games. Like, the pressure you talked about, the secondary, I think, will be pretty good. And, yeah, I'm just kind of, they're not going to be a good team in this division with this schedule at all.
Their record makes us seem like they're a far worse team than they actually are, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the weird thing. Like, this is very, 2-15 is very disrespectful for the amount of talent they do have on their roster. Like, they've got a lot of good players on this roster. It's just that it's just not all together there for me yet. If they take a step, and obviously we'll be talking about in a couple of years what Jackson Dart is, but I don't think we're going to get to figure that out this year. Maybe we see him for 1 to 2 games later on in the season. Totally depends what happens. Obviously, Dayball said he's not planning on playing him because you do have Jameis Winston too, but you never know. Injuries happen. Russ could stink the bed. Jameis Winston could do his thing, throw a bunch of picks, a bunch of yards, and then they say, hey, what's the rookie got these last couple games? So we could definitely see Jackson Dart, but we got to talk about this team, I think, next year and the year after when it really comes to their future with Jackson Dart.
It wouldn't shock me if Jameis ended up starting more games than Russ this year.
Based off of what?
Injuries or just...
No, just we've watched Russ he was with you guys 2 years, correct?
Yeah.
Stink it up with them for 2 years. Look nothing special on Pittsburgh. How many chances is this guy going to get to prove he's just not it anymore? And Jameis, I would rather have a guy who can make plays and is also going to make some dumb plays than a guy who just flat out can't make plays anymore.
Well, Russ is starting just because he has the safe floor. Like, he's the veteran savvy QB. He's got Super Bowl experience. Obviously, he's not prime Russ and he's all that, but he can deliver you, like, some wins here just based off of his play and his veteran leadership.
I don't know if he's been delivering wins the last couple of years or if he's just been in systems of teams that are with like a Sean Payton system. They're going to win some games no matter what. Same thing with Mike Tomlin. The Giants don't have that. So I think I think you could see a significantly diminished Russ because the teams he's had the last 3 years have been making him look much better than he really is. I think he is full-blown washed at this point.
Well, we're going to find that out because if he's not able to create anything with this offense and this run game, and he's going to have a defense helping him, right? Not obviously Steelers-esque last year, but he's going to have a defense that's going to have a lot of sacks and create turnovers and stuff, and he's just got to be able to put the offense in a position to score 6 points instead of 3. I feel like that's what it's been for the Giants the last 4 years. The defense can make a play, and then it's a turnover by Daniel Jones or a 3-and-out and a field goal. That he just needs to be able to finish drives for this team, and I think they'll be competitive really against most teams. Obviously, they're going to get blown out some games just because the talent's not there. But
I don't think Dart will touch the field this year.
I think we might see him in some fourth quarters.
I think he's one of the most unready QBs to ever come out of college, and there's no point of risking it.
I agree, but I think if they come to a point where it's week 18 and the season's wrapped, and let's just say, for instance, the Cowboys, are starting all their backups, you give Dart some NFL experience going into year 2. I think that's just what it is. It's very hard for a QB to go a whole year without any play at all, just based off of what happens throughout an NFL season. Yeah. Injuries, guys sucking, different records, et cetera, et cetera. So
Jameis and Russ neither of them are the picture of health when it comes to quarterbacks.
No.
They get
Yeah.
hurt fairly often. So I do think we'll see him at some point, whether it's because of a blowout or an injury.
Number 3.
The Dallas Cowboys at 9-8.
Okay.
I think
Playoff team?
I would have to look at this conference. So they just out of the playoffs right now.
Okay.
Mind you, I haven't completely filled in every team's record, but I think they're honestly going to miss the playoffs. I think there's 2 teams better than them in this division, and that alone is going to make it hard to make the playoffs because I do think the 2 teams above them will both be in the playoffs. And they're kind of the same team. They added George Pickens. Good move. I don't think it's going to win you any more games than the situation they were in before. Their defense looked much worse last year after losing Dan Quinn. Could that be blamed partially to injuries? Yes, but even before that, I watched my terrible team go in and hang 1 billion points on them in the building where they were supposed to be elite. So while that Saints team shouldn't be taken seriously, that still should send a message about the Cowboys defense may not have been as good as everybody thought it was. And I think we know what they're going to look like. They're probably going to have some really impressive wins over bad teams where they win by 40 points. And then they're going to go and play a tough team and look really bad and get embarrassed by the 49ers or who do they play in their schedule? The Eagles and the Chiefs. Like, those are the teams that normally when they end up playing, they end up getting beat really bad by. We've seen that the last 3 years, and I don't think this team's changed, and I don't think their DNA has changed.
Okay, yeah. Number 3, I also have the Dallas Cowboys. I have them at 11-6, 2-4 in the division. I have the Cowboys as the 6th seed in the playoffs. Obviously, the NFC, when it comes to the wild card, they're very weak. So 11 wins is surefire playoffs. But they're in a stacked division, so I think the Commanders and Eagles are definitely better than them. I see the Cowboys getting 11 wins here, 2-4 in the division though, because just NFC East is a very tough division to play in. But I'm in love with this George Pickens addition to pair with CeeDee Lamb. I think if this offense stays healthy, it's going to be firing on all cylinders. Dak's going to be slinging it, obviously, in the regular season. Like I said, they've got to be able to get this run game going with Javonte Williams and Jaden Blue, whoever can click. They've got the offensive line coach from Dallas, I believe.
Arizona,
as their offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
I'm not totally in love with the head coach hire in Brian Schoonmaker, if I'm pronouncing Schottenheimer, if I'm pronouncing that right. Obviously, he was the OC of Seattle, if I remember correct.
With Russell Wilson.
OC Seattle with Russell Wilson. So I don't know what type of culture he'll bring as a head coach just because he's been the special teams coordinator and we haven't seen a lot of him. But if this can be like a tough, hard-nosed type of team, which the Cowboys haven't been in recent years, I think they're set up for success. And I just want to see this team fully healthy because when this team's healthy, they're usually good for the playoffs. I want to see Micah Parsons ball. I want to see Trayvon Diggs come back healthy from injury. And this Cowboys team could soar over 500 if they have a healthy year because they're a regular season team. They're regular season merchants, and Dak can have a good year. Even if he goes 11-6 and makes the playoffs with his numbers, he could be in the MVP talks like everyone says, but he probably won't win it. But Cowboys for me, 11-6, third in division, but they are a playoff team.
I also forgot to mention, I'm very much worried about their offensive line. They looked rough last year, and they lost their surefire Hall of Famer, Zach Barton. So the two pieces who have been there throughout this kind of Cowboys era, Tyron Smith and Zach Barton, are both gone at this point.
Tyler Booker.
Yeah, I think this could be an offensive line that gets shredded.
Tyler Booker, replacement for Zach Martin, and who got hurt for the Cowboys, which they feared was the ACL? Tyler Smith?
Yeah.
This year?
Yeah. He got hurt in training camp. I'm pretty sure it's Tyler Smith.
Tyler Guyton.
Guyton,
who they drafted last year.
But they have two good tackles, Guyton and Tyler Smith. So if that can stay, am I correct?
Or no, the Terrence Steele plays a tackle. Smith is on the.
He's inside?
Yeah, he's replacing Martin, who's the guard.
But if that O-line stays healthy, I'm pretty comfortable with it, to be honest. But, I don't think they can outmatch the Eagles and Commanders, even in the regular season where they are the best. Joey?
Number 3, I have the Washington Commanders at 9-8.
Okay.
I honestly just see this team regressing. I don't think they got better, and when you don't add to your team in the NFL, you're going to end up losing more games than you won last year. I don't even think Daniels is good. Like, I think he might drop off a little bit, but I still think he's going to be an elite quarterback in the league. I'm more so just worried about this defense, especially defensive line. They're one of the worst teams against the run last season. They only really add Von Miller, who's a pass rush specialist at this point in his career. They lost Jonathan Allen to the Vikings.
Mm-hmm. And you talk about the run defense.
Yeah, they really only have Bobby Wagner that you're comfortable there to eat up some tackles.
And he's on the door of
he had a great year last year.
He did look good. He's old, but he's still good.
We'll see how he is this year. And it's not even like being like, it's just a hard division, and I just had a hard time finding wins for them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's like, listen, like people are going to say just because the Commanders balled out last year, that's crazy, 9-8. But I totally get where you're coming from.
Yeah.
They could drop off because everybody's expecting them to be competing with the Eagles neck and neck for the division. But I wouldn't be shocked one bit if this team dropped off and one, didn't make the playoffs, or two, was a very low wild card. You have them as a playoff team.
I don't have them as a playoff team.
Fair game. Number 2.
The Washington Commanders at 10-7.
Okay.
While the record doesn't necessarily reflect them improving, I do think they honestly got better. They didn't really have any their biggest loss is probably De'Ami Brown, who they replaced with
Jonathan Allen
as well, big loss on the defense, but I meant offensively, excuse me.
Okay.
De'Ami Brown, who they replaced with Deebo Samuel, which even at this point I would still say is an upgrade.
Of course.
And they got a blindside protector for Daniels in Laramie Tunsil. So I think that's going to be a big factor. And that defense was kind of just a bunch of pieces thrown together who made it work.
Yeah.
They ended up Marshawn Lattimore not really healthy last year, maybe washed, not sure. Curious to see what he looks like after an offseason. And then there's a lot of decent pieces there. I do think they need to find a pass rusher at some point. But this is also a team it wouldn't shock me if they make another midseason move. Because they're in a position where they're a contending team with a quarterback who they're not paying yet, which not a lot of teams are in that position, which is a huge advantage, which means they have money to spend and they have players they could use potentially to trade.
Yes.
So if someone becomes available, I think they will definitely be in that hunt, and I do expect them to be a playoff team and be a team that can win playoff games and will be in the Super Bowl conversation in the NFC.
Who's the Commanders' first round pick this year?
This year was Josh Connerly.
Oh yeah, the tackle out of Oregon. Coming in at number 2 for me is the Washington Commanders at 12-5, 3-3 in the division. I think they're going to struggle in the division if the Cowboys can stay healthy. I think the Eagles will obviously get them one, and I have the Giants taking one from them. Just because this division games are so weird and anything can happen on any given day, I think that Daniels will stay the same, if not get better. But I think the team as a whole could be a little over their head and depending on Daniels, and that could drop off some wins for them. But I still have this team as a comfortable playoff team. I believe them. I have them as the number 5 seed. Yeah, I have the Commanders number 5 seed, number 1 wild card seed at 12-5. There's a lot of good things to say about this team, but I think what will bite them in the postseason is not being able to get after the quarterback and not being able to stop the run, and also running the ball without Daniels. Because Brian Robinson and Austin Eckler, they ain't really all of that, to be honest. So it'll be tough. But I like Deebo Samuel that you could also feature in the run game. If he has a bounce back here, this team's talking serious heat on offense. Hopefully they get that Terry McLaurin extension figured out, which they probably will before the season. I don't see a world where they go into the season without not paying him. I think it would be ridiculous.
Also, even on McLaurin's side, for a guy who's been in the league this long and realistically probably doesn't have that long left, and this is the first time he's been on a contending team, he would be stupid to not make every effort to play, because if we're being honest, this is probably his window to win a Super Bowl and be remembered, or be remembered as a player who is not bad but was always on terrible teams for pretty much his whole career. This is the first time he has a chance to actually make an impact on a team that could win.
Yeah, I mean, with the Commanders going 12-5 for me, I think Daniels will be in the MVP talks, especially with the hype he got his rookie season. If he does the same thing, he's going to be right there. I don't see him really dropping off. He's the heart and soul of this franchise. If somehow he goes down, knock on wood, he doesn't, the team's screwed. Don't expect them to make the playoffs or pull out any crazy wins. But I got my faith in Jaden Daniels. I didn't really like him coming into last season, but he really showed us not only he could make the playoffs, he was game on when it came to the big games, and that's what I really respect out of players when they're at their best playing against the best. So Commanders 12-5.
Number 2, Dallas Cowboys at 10-7. I just think this offense is gonna take a huge leap. I think they could be top 5 in the NFL in just pure statistics.
Yes.
You get Dak back. I think he may have an MVP level season in the regular season.
Yep.
He's getting paid like he should be a top QB in the league. So he better show it this year. I really did like their coaching hires this year.
Okay.
I think the offensive coordinator and the head coach position will be good this
Mike
year.
Zimmer still on defense?
Yeah,
Okay.
and he's gonna be solid.
He'll be
they
solid,
have the
yeah.
talent on defense to stay in games. Obviously, there's definitely holes there. Parsons will be back. I think Trayvon Diggs, he's back this year, so
Maybe starting on pup, maybe? We'll
probably,
see.
but he'll be back at some point. In this run game, I think that will be a big determinant in how well they are this season.
It opens up
If
everything.
it gets going, you open up the play action with George Pickens down the field, CeeDee Lamb, Jake Ferguson, who just signed. He's a solid tight end.
Yeah, he is
So
solid.
we'll see. The record kind of, it's with the run game, then this O-line, it's young. But if they grow together, they have lots of potential to be good.
Yeah, I think, like, even when the Cowboys' run game wasn't good, that last year, Zeke, when they lost to the 49ers in the playoffs, they had Zeke and Pollard, who was their RB1.
Yeah.
The run game wasn't even good with them, and they were still able to be such a high-powered offense in the regular season. So if they can have any consistency on the ground, this passing game will be absolute fireworks, as we all know it to be when it's healthy. Number 1.
Number 1, Philadelphia Eagles. I have them at 12-5 for the year. Just, once again, tough division, so I think they're going to lose a couple games. Also, some tough out of division games. They have a rematch with the Chiefs week 2.
That'll be fun.
They also
Awesome.
they play the Rams. They play the Lions, which is kind of the matchup everybody wanted last year and we never got. So. And they also play Buffalo, so that's a lot of tough out of division games. But I do still think this is the best roster in the NFL pretty easily all the way through. And if they stay healthy, I think they should still be viewed as the Super Bowl favorites going into the season.
For sure.
Okay, yeah, number 1, me, Philadelphia Eagles, 13-4, 4-2 in the division. Like you said, it's one of the best rosters. I put them and the Ravens neck and neck. Maybe you want to give the edge to the Eagles because obviously they won the Super Bowl. They lost pieces, obviously. Milton Williams bagged to the Patriots. Josh Sweat bagged to the Cardinals. A lot of things to take into account on defense, but I think Sweat's easily replaced by Nolan Smith, who took a huge leap last year. He'll be able to play full-time on the edge. And then you got Jalen Carter, obviously, inside. Him and Milton Williams were a cheat code together. Jalen Carter's only getting better, so I'm not really worried about the D-line just because how much talent they do have there. And when you talk about the offense, nothing changes. You have the best running back in the league. You have a top 5 to 6 wide receiver in A.J. Brown, and you probably have the best, if not second, best wide receiver 2 in Devonta Smith. If you want to say T. Higgins is better, that's who I value 1 and 2, but not much changes offensively. Obviously, you lose Kellen Moore to the Saints. You replace him, I believe, was it with the pass game coordinator?
Honestly, I don't know.
I forget.
Probably.
I saw his
sure
name on
they hired
TV the other day.
internally.
Kevin Patullo.
Yeah, Patullo.
Promoted to the position. So he, pass game coordinator and was associate head coach.
So pass game coordinator, I'm sure it's the same type of system because when they went out and got Brian Johnson that year after they lost Shane Steichen, it was a disaster. So hopefully he's got the Kellen Moore type of blueprint and the offense will be fine. As long as you got Saquon healthy, they're really able to do anything on offense because it opens up so much availability with the play action and hurts his own legs too, who we saw a lot of last year besides the tush push. And you got Dallas Goedert coming back, who some people thought were going to be released. Smitty, A.J. Brown. There's just weapons galore on this team, and I see them winning the division. I have them in the conference for the playoffs. I don't think...
I have them
I have them second in the conference. Not getting a bye at 13-4, but Eagles, not much to say about this team just based off of we know who they are. I think it's going to be interesting to see that Cowboys-Eagles matchup week 1, just because you're going to see everybody healthy, knock on wood once again, but this is the reigning best team in the league, so can't really put too much disrespect towards them. Number 1.
Sorry about the laugh. When he mentioned the OC, the year of the disaster, I just remembered watching Matt Patricia be the offensive coordinator late in the season, and that made me laugh.
Number 1, Philadelphia Eagles, 12-5, 4-2 in the division.
Yep.
Like you guys said, this is the best roster in the NFL, in my opinion. So much depth on this team, and it doesn't even matter that the defensive line guy, I mean, Milton Williams, I think he's really good, except you have so many guys to replace him, and they're growing in this system with the same coaches. They obviously won't be as good right away, but they are starting level players, in my opinion. And this, they have top 5 at each position almost everywhere.
Literally.
You look at this depth chart, honestly,
Lane
O-line's
Johnson,
the best.
Barkley,
QB, Jalen Hurts.
A.J. Brown.
Around top 10, in my opinion.
Yeah, if you look at it, they have the best O-line overall, the best running back in the league.
Top 5 receiver.
Yeah, top 5 receiver.
One of the best D-lines in the league. Zach Bond's a top 5 linebacker.
Yeah.
To pair with Nakobe Dean, who's coming back from their first-round pick, Jahad Campbell. You have Cooper DeJean, who absolutely broke out. Quinion Mitchell is going to be a cornerback 1 in this league.
Both of them were
Reed
rookies
Blankenship,
last year, correct?
Sidney Brown coming off. Yes.
Both rookie deals. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Wow.
Howie Roseman, this guy's got to be, he's got to be the best GM
Send him to
in
jail.
sports.
He's robbing everybody.
Mm-hmm.
If you're an NFL GM and he calls your phone, hang up.
Yeah. You're right.
You're about to get fleeced for something. The Giants have had it happen, and the Titans have had it happen.
Did they trade for Barkley?
No,
Sorry, they didn't trade for him. There was something to do with them, though.
But that
And
idiot, idiot owner, he said, we better not let him walk.
Mm-hmm.
And what did Joe Shane do? He lowballed Barkley, and the Eagles jumped on it, and look at them now. Howie Roseman, he's just ahead of the game, man. He knows what he's doing. He has young players that are rising superstars littered everywhere.
Yeah.
We can go on. Nolan Smith, demon. Jalen Carter, demon. Zach Bond's a little bit older, demon. Nakobe Dean broke out this year, demon. Jahad Campbell out of Alabama, linebacker, going to be learning behind these guys. You think he's going to be a bust? No. He's going to be a demon. Cooper DeJean, pick 6 in the Super Bowl on his birthday. White guys can't play corner. They can't do this. Well, you saw on the biggest stage him have the play of the game. So there you go. Quinion Mitchell, who's even better than Cooper DeJean. Even though Cooper DeJean had that moment, Quinion Mitchell is a lockdown cornerback 1. Reed Blankenship, Sidney Brown. Am I missing another safety on that team? I feel like
they drafted the Andrew Makuba dude.
Yeah,
Texas.
that was who they replaced CJ with, correct? Because that's the other noticeable loss, which still isn't a very big loss.
Yeah, it's CJ Gardner. He just flourished on that team because he's surrounded by greats.
Yeah.
This team is, it just looks absolutely unstoppable. And we already touched on the offense. As long as Jalen Hurts can just be that type of dude that he was last year, he elevated in the playoffs. People were worried that he had the concussion late last year, remember? Yeah. Is he going to be good for the playoffs? He showed out in the playoffs. He didn't do anything too extra, but when the moment came to him, he rose above the moment. That's why I'm off the Jalen Hurts train for sure. I mean, off the Jalen Hurts hate train. Yeah. That game against the Buccaneers really disappointed me when they got destroyed. Jason Kelsey's last game in the playoffs a couple of years ago. But they really earned it back, and courtesy's got to go to Saquon Barkley, man. Yeah. I mean, this guy's unbelievable.
That team was such a mess the back half of that season, too. That was
lost.
a full-blown disaster and collapse.
They were talking Sirianni fired, too. Mm-hmm. I'm surprised he didn't get fired.
That happened, remember, at the start of last season? Because when they lost to Tampa, and they lost to the Falcons early. They were 2-2 or something. There were some serious canned Sirianni talks.
And when you talk about building a franchise from the top, it starts with the ownership, like I say. Mm-hmm. Jeff Lurie, he's elite. He believes in Howie Roseman. He didn't let go of Sirianni. He didn't pull the trigger too quick. He let him go another year, made sure he had the coordinators around him, and look what happened. Super Bowl in a blowout against the best dynasty we've ever seen in our life besides the Patriots. So
I will say, credit to Sirianni. I think I could coach that team and they'd still make the playoffs because I don't know what Sirianni's doing. He's not doing. He's the vibes coach. He's not calling plays. He's not making decisions. He's just there as a pump-up dude.
I don't like when people say that just because there's so much that goes behind the scenes other than you see Sirianni shit talking everyone on the sideline, and obviously Kellen Moore's calling the plays, Vic Fangio's upstairs in the booth calling plays. There's way more that goes into being a head coach than a vibes guy. Like there's a lot of stuff behind the scenes that you got to be able to put together, and he obviously does have the final say as the head coach. So I don't want to discredit him because he stunk up the bed in 2020 in the 2024 playoffs, but last year in the 2025 playoffs, his team showed out when they needed him to, and he was the coach that had them ready, whether he's a vibes guy or not. He had everyone playing their A game. So I don't discredit him for anything because being a head coach in the NFL, it's hard no matter how people want to bash it.
How long of a grace period do you think he's earned with the Super Bowl? Like, how long would he have to be bad for the Fire Sirianni talks to start again? 2 years?
This year and then the year after.
Yeah. So you think
this year if they're
at least a 2 year?
You think so?
Yes.
Like if you think
this roster, the Eagles,
if they go 9-8 this year, you think
these fans
this
are
is
hostile.
this is what I think though.
They'll do.
That is true.
If they flop this year, they'll give him one more year to fix the coordinators again. Mm-hmm. And if he flops with the coordinators again, when they go out and pick their coordinator, he's gone. Mm-hmm. I think he's got the 2-year window because if they stink it up, they'll be like, we can't do these in-house promotions anymore. We got to go find a guy on the market. Obviously, there will be someone. Mm-hmm. And then if he stinks it up again, that's his time to go. Let's go through this. What do we want to go through? Let's go through the Cowboy schedule.
Okay.
Do you have it pulled up?
I got it here.
You got it?
So, in Philly to open the season, Thursday Night Football.
Loss.
Yep.
Hold on. Go ahead.
At home against the Giants. Win. We all agree. Road against Chicago. I'll be honest, I actually have the Bears winning that.
That could be a Bears game for sure. Yeah. We can go loss. I'm fine with that.
At home against the Packers, I think the Cowboys win that.
Okay. Revenge game from the playoffs 2 years ago.
In MetLife against the Jets, I have the Cowboys.
Win. You like that too, Joey?
Yeah.
Okay.
In Carolina, I have the Panthers winning.
Wow.
What do you have? I have a win for the Cowboys. Okay, win.
Yeah. Majority. Home against Washington, I have the Cowboys winning this one.
Okay. Split, we'll say.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll split that.
In Denver, I have Denver winning.
In Denver?
Cowboys winning.
In Denver?
Yes.
What time during the year? I don't have my thing pulled
week
up.
Like
8. So, like,
early November, maybe?
Pretty coin flip game.
We'll give him a win. We'll give him a win.
At home against the Cardinals, I have that as a win.
Win. You like that as a win?
In Vegas, I have them winning. That's a Monday night football game.
Well, Vegas is a huge market.
Decent.
Vegas is a huge market, so they give them primetime
They should
games.
not be on primetime, and at least not much. That's a Thursday night team at best. But road against the Eagles, I have the Eagles winning again.
What do you have a sweep or a split, Joey?
I have them winning. This game's at home.
Do you have a split or a sweep for the Cowboys in the Eagles? Split? Okay, so we'll do this one as a loss.
Yeah. I have their at home against the Chiefs. I have the Chiefs winning.
I have Cowboys.
Let me just pull it up. What I have.
They never beat teams that good.
In the regular season, yes.
No, they lose.
Let me see. Hold on.
Every year they lose to the good teams they play and blow out the bad teams.
Let me pull mine up. Hold on. Chiefs week what?
13.
Oh my God, verify. I'm human. I'm verifying. Come on. Okay, right here. Chiefs. Sorry, what week what?
13.
Week 13. Where am I here? Okay, Chiefs. I have the Cowboys winning. You have Cowboys, Joey?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
In Dallas, right?
I don't care. They get blown out in Dallas all the time by good teams. Detroit did it.
That would be an awesome game, actually. Thanksgiving?
ETA.
No.
If the Lions can blow them out and the Niners can blow them out, the Chiefs can blow them out.
Chiefs don't blow people out.
They did this year. This year they did it more. They can hammer teams.
Okay, next.
All right, fine. In Detroit, I have Detroit winning.
Where am I going here? I have the Cowboys as well.
These guys are sipping
I
the
have
Kool-Aid.
Lions.
Lions, okay. loss.
Dude, we have them at like similar records.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the
It's
win,
just
the
different
win,
games.
Yeah, it's
the
different
wins
games.
you,
You're acting like we're like Cowboys.
The
No,
wins
like
you-
you're acting like I have them like
the
15
team.
and 2.
When do they ever beat teams that good?
They do all the time in the regular season?
Who'd they beat last year?
All
that
the
was good?
time. Well, they were
Well,
hurt
last
last
year
year.
they-
We're gonna have
They
to
beat
rewind
they
2
beat
years.
Washington in one of the wilder games I've seen. But like they'll beat okay teams. They lose to the elite of the elite teams, and they play a lot of. But next week, at home against Minnesota, I have that as a win.
At home against Minnesota,
I have them
I have a
winning.
win. Okay.
At home against the Chargers, I have them winning that.
I have them winning.
In Washington,
I have a loss.
Yeah.
I have Washington.
Because this is the split. Yep.
Yeah, and
I already
then-
put it down.
On the road in MetLife against the Giants, I have them winning.
I had the Giants.
I have the Giants winning this as the split.
Yeah.
So this record, like I have here, 11-6.
Yeah.
Give or take a couple.
Yeah.
9-8 to 11-6. I think this team is comfortably. Comfortably, because the Cowboys are this team where it's like, oh, they're the Cowboys. They don't beat good teams. Like you say, Wyatt. If this was a playoff game and the Chiefs, I'd tell you bet the house for the Chiefs in a playoff game. If this was the Lions in a playoff game, I'd tell you the Lions are gonna win. But this is the regular season. Jerry's World on Thanksgiving against the Chiefs. This is his Super Bowl.
Okay. So I pulled it up here. 2 years ago,
Yeah.
the games they played. So the teams that I'd say that year would be considered elite. They played in San Fran.
They got obliterated.
42
that
to
game.
10.
Yeah,
They
I remember
lost.
they got obliterated that game.
They beat the Eagles, but that was when the Eagles stunk at the second half. They then played at Buffalo and lost 31 to 10.
Yep.
I remember that.
Yep.
And that's really those are the only two elite teams.
I mean,
I'd say they
that's in
played that
December,
year.
right?
I
remember that was a snow game. That's hard for a
Yes.
Texas Dome team to go in there in
Yes,
the winter.
those were the wins, and then the other losses were random. They lost to Arizona, the Eagles the first time, and then Miami the next week, which is the battle of two carbon copy teams in
I
different
remember that
conferences.
game, Miami.
Didn't that game mean something?
Yeah, it was huge. It was for playoff seeding. It was Miami.
Yes.
Yeah,
Dallas.
they lost the one
Tyreek
seed, didn't
Hill
they?
First down.
Yep.
Remember that? The screen.
The
play?
Cowboys would have had the one seed if they won that, I believe, over the Niners.
Yes, I think
Because they
so.
finished 12-4,
And that's what clinched Miami a playoff spot.
something like that. I remember
Yeah.
that being a big game.
Because that's when they went into KC as the 6th seed 2 years ago
Mm-hmm.
in that freezing cold game.
Okay, yeah, and then the year before that, the elite teams they played. I'm trying 2022. So they lost to
They came third in the division, and their schedule's this hard.
What? Look at their division.
Yeah.
I know, but like Chiefs, Lions,
Yeah.
Vikings.
They have to play the AFC West and
Yeah.
the
NFC North.
yeah.
Lions, Vikings, Packers,
Yeah, this was
Bears.
They're all tough games.
Man, that's not fun.
No.
These are
But they're a great home team, so there's gonna be games where it's like they can win these big games in the regular season. Like they
Yeah.
can win them.
Yeah, but I just think they're the same every year. We're like
Like I don't want to sit up here and be like I'm all in on the Cowboys because I'm not. I'm just saying that in the regular season they're gonna be able to put on a performance with they got better than last year. Obviously they were hurt, but roster wise they're a better team. That's why like I'm not sitting up here saying this is a Super Bowl caliber team. Their ceiling this year, I think we can all agree, maybe you think they're worse, a playoff win is their ceiling.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
Is that fair?
yeah, that's fair. I just think saying they're gonna beat the Chiefs in prime time is wild.
Well, it's one game.
It is,
Like,
but
that's
the Chiefs
Less crazy than saying
like the
they're gonna win a
Chiefs last
playoff.
year lost 2 games. Like the Chiefs, no matter what, they're winning probably 12 games, and they've been the best regular season team the last 5 years, and they don't like. You're right. Do they usually blow out teams? No, but they beat the teams they should beat almost always. Like there's only a handful of examples I can think where they didn't. It's like the Raiders on Christmas when they lost to Denver.
Jack Jones pick six looking
Yeah.
at Mahomes.
When they
Remember that?
Was it
The-
2 years
The
ago?
Christmas
they
game
lost
against
to
the
Denver?
Chiefs. Remember that?
Yeah, they lost.
They lost to Denver
2 years ago, I
2 years
believe.
ago,
And
yeah.
last year they had the miracle blocked kick,
Yeah.
and then you guys beat them week 18.
Well, that doesn't really count.
No, because they were
Who?
Rest.
when they lost 38 to nothing
Chiefs.
because they didn't want the Bengals to get in.
Come on, bro.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying that. But then their other,
Doesn't count.
yeah, but they're like last year. Their only legit loss last year was Buffalo.
The Chiefs?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
went 15-2.
They
to the
they lost
Broncos
that
and
in Denver
Bills.
week 18.
They also got away with some bullshit last
They
night.
I
won a
mean-
lot of close games last
Okay, so
They got away with
week
the
one was
They should have lost to the Broncos
yeah.
that game.
Okay,
year. Yeah,
let's
the
be-
Ravens
see.
was close.
Yeah.
That was a
That
Week
was a
one
toe.
that was the likely one, and then they beat the Bengals, pretty legit.
robbed on that PI.
That was pass
it was PI.
interference,
It was PI.
in my
100.
opinion.
It's
But
PI.
like one play decided the whole game.
Yeah, it
these
does, but
games.
Yeah.
everyone reaches on Chiefs plays.
Let's go,
and
let's
like
keep-
the rest
let's
of-
keep
Okay,
going.
keep going. They beat Atlanta. That was a primetime game.
Rice went crazy that game. I remember.
Yeah. They beat the Chargers in the game by 7.
That's
and-
where Rice
yeah.
got hurt.
Saints in primetime, 26-13.
That's where Olave got hurt, right?
And the
No, that's where
picks.
Carr got hurt.
In KC.
Yes.
In the Rattler
That was with the Colin Saunders return.
Yep.
Yes.
And then they beat the Niners by 10
That was in
San Fran.
San Fran.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they beat Vegas by 7. They beat Tampa in overtime.
Oh my God, the second game against the Raiders in Kansas City, the Black Friday game.
Yeah.
Where Aiden O'Connell could have spiked the ball and he fumbled it.
Yeah, I remember
They were
something like
they
that.
were on the 20-yard line and it was a early snap by Jackson Powers
Yeah.
Johnson, remember?
Yes,
and
yes,
it went
yes.
off O'Connell's chest and the Chiefs
Yes,
recovered
yes.
You're right, but like it's weird, like because the Chiefs are a team where I look at like the
Dark
close.
magic is
yeah, I
real.
look at the
it.
close
Like,
games.
how does that happen?
Yeah,
No,
like
last year's
it's an
crazy.
example. Like you remember, like so, like the year the Vikings won all those one-score games
With
and
Cousins, they went into
Yeah.
Buffalo, the Jefferson catch. They
Mhm.
Josh Allen fumbled on the
Yeah.
1-yard line, and Daniil
Yeah.
Hunter recovered it in the end zone.
and
for a
everyone thinks
touchdown.
they're gonna like. I was like, okay, they're gonna rush. They can't do that again. Like the Chiefs are the best team in the league in close games. And, like, I don't necessarily think it's, like, weird stuff happening. They just have been in more situations like this in big games where they know what to do. Like, it's incredibly rare the Chiefs give away a game.
Yeah.
Like, if you have to beat them and make sure they don't get the ball at the end pretty much to beat them, because if they get the ball 90% of the time, whether they need 3 or 6, they're getting it.
They're just a team where it's like, if you wait for them to, like, the Chiefs are waiting for the other team to make a mistake,
In the minute
And
they
they jump on
they're
it.
done.
and they make you pay.
Yeah.
That's what great teams do, though. They make you pay for your
It's the
mistakes.
exact same as the Patriots. The Patriots were never, other than like 2007, they weren't this world-beating team in the regular season usually.
They got it done when it matters.
Yeah, a lot of times they'd squeak through, get into the playoffs, and then everyone knows you just don't want to go there.
Exactly.
And it,
But that's the scary thing, though. When you have a guy at quarterback that is the biggest killer in probably all of sports, it's like so hard. Like when you're Josh Allen and you're looking over this year, say on the sideline in the AFC Championship game for the 6th year in a row, and you make one mistake, your whole season's over
are they
again.
0-3 or 0-4 in the
0-4.
playoffs? Yeah,
0-4
against
because
the
they
Chiefs.
lost
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
divisional
yeah,
and then
yeah.
3 AFC Championship games.
Yeah,
Crazy.
you're right. Yeah, you're right.
Same with Lamar. Like you make he even did it against Josh Allen this year. Lamar he fumbled and he threw that toss up pick.
Yeah.
If you make one mistake, elite quarterbacks are gonna make you pay for it. And if Burrow gets into the playoffs and the defense is somewhat like mid or slightly above average, if you make a mistake, I won't throw Mahomes in there just because Burrow's beat him once. If you're Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson, no matter where the game is, and you make one mistake against Joe Burrow, he's going to walk out onto the field and he's going to go put the ball in the end zone because that's what great quarterbacks do, and he has the killer instinct.
Burrow's the only guy in the league who's shown Mahomes' level of killer instinct in the playoffs when he
Yes.
gets there.
Yes. He's a killer. When he went into Buffalo 2021 or
God.
2022,
Yeah.
he destroyed them.
Yeah.
Destroyed. Like, it wasn't even
That's
close.
Josh Allen's worst loss in the playoffs, and it's not close.
Yeah.
In terms of like
And-
worst looking loss.
So there's a lot of stuff to talk about, but the only thing we can say is you just gotta let it play out and see what happens because agendas change every year. But that's gonna do it for episode 56 of the Alec Frengos Show, and we're back tomorrow with the NFC West, last of the NFC. Then we get to the good stuff in the AFC. So see you next time.